to make prison a theme of this museum is a very interesting, ambiguous thing, right? Because it is somehow not a very embarrassing fact or embarrassing myth about its history. And yet, what does a prison museum do? Right? The different kinds of cultural messages behind this kind of museums. So, and this essay ends also with different uses of the museum as a site of voyeurism, to promote religious beliefs as a way to psychoanalyze its people. It's a very, very fun essay. And also, it also begins with an example of the Nanjing Massacre Museum in China as an ultimate form of forced coercive adoption of a certain point of view. And it's very, very funny, this essay, so I want you to read it on your own. Okay. And the second thing that you could really do Hong Kong a favor is to research on the branding of museums all over the world, like the brand name, the Guggenheim effect, like the Guggenheim. There are so many of them. All very crazy, like opening an LV flagship store. It opens everywhere in the world. So you have Bilbao Guggenheim, designed by Frank Gehry. You have the Guggenheim New York, the grandfather Guggenheim. Taichung is asking an award-winning young new female architect Sarah Hadid to design Taichung's Guggenheim. And you have a Guggenheim in Las Vegas. Inside the Venetian Hotel. It's so Disney. It's so absolutely Disney. And it houses the Guggenheim collections of Peggy Guggenheim. Peggy Guggenheim is a playgirl of the Guggenheim family. She owns lots of things. And at first she shows it in Russia. She donated quite a lot of her heritage to Russia. But Las Vegas is so rich. Las Vegas won Guggenheim. So they bought all the Guggenheim collection from Russia to Las Vegas. Okay. And you have Guggenheim Venice, also housing a lot of Peggy Guggenheim's collections. And you have the Deutsche Guggenheim in Berlin. And there might be more and more. And see whether if Hong Kong wants to have a Guggenheim, see if we can beat Venice for being the joke of the world. We will see. And this is an absolutely wonderful project to work on. There's so much material about the Guggenheim. And you can, with your study of the mass media and consumerism and everything, you're brought up with that culture, you will be able to analyze with it. So the other issue, I think a lot of you are very familiar with by now after the cultural tours, which we need to think in relation to West Kowloon Cultural District, is the issue of public space. How public space is being designed to include and exclude. How management skills, managerialism, is imposed to limit and control spatial meaning, and how the public interact socially in public space, the privatization and monitoring of public space. This is something you have a very direct experience of. And what we need to think is therefore strategies to deal with that. How do we reclaim public space and make it really public? And recreate our sense of place. That a space is not abstract and meaningless and cold and unfriendly, but how to make a space become a place, a meaningful place. Place is where to orient our behavior and provide people with a sense not of abstract space, but of a meaningful, memorable place. By conveying certain meanings through human interaction, by its signs and functions, so on. And a public realm, a public space, has both a physical and a socio-cultural dimension. And we need to, when we do planning and design, we need to take care of both. And when we think of ways to reclaim and transform abstract space, managed space, capitalist space into cultural and social space, we need to understand that money, capitalism, will always take it back from us. It will never be given. You always need to work hard to have it. So reclaiming social space is about the ability of people to confound and challenge established spatial orders, either through physical movement or through their own conceptual, artistic, and political acts of reimagination. And we will have a whole week studying open areas, street space, and so forth. And we'll have one lecture on reclaiming public space, and also loft living and so forth in the week 11 and 12. So I'm going to be brief this time, but we will come back to reinforce our understanding of this issue. So there are several functions of public space that I have taught elsewhere in another class. Like public space, ideally, should be a blank space, tabula rasa, for public life, for us to develop, invent, and create and design our public life. It's a forum for political action and representation. It's a neutral common ground for social cultural interaction. It is a stage for social learning, personal development, and the creation of a democratic community, and information exchange, transparency, all the basic things we want in civil society. Now, I've also written a newspaper article actually describing how social movements could create so much meaning for a space, make it so meaningful as a place, that in Argentina, this piece of muddy land become national heritage, monument, national monument. What happened is, during the dictatorship period, a lot of people disappeared, were kidnapped or killed during political crackdown. And a lot of mothers and grandmothers of these missing people demonstrate here daily around this place, just walking circling this area, day in, day out, demanding the government to face up to its political crackdown, until they won the democracy, kicked out the dictatorship, and this place that of the continuous social movement of the mothers of Plaza de Mayo has made Plaza de Mayo a very, very, very significant public space in Argentina, so much so that it has become a national monument. So it doesn't need any architecture, it doesn't need to be pretty, it can be just a piece of muddy land. But it is people using a place, giving meaning to a place, that makes it important, and makes it one of the most important tourist destinations of Argentina, where local people and foreigners go every year to commemorate the blossoming of democracy. This is what gets people to a place. It doesn't have to be grand and glorious. This is what people were trying to rediscover as a meaning of the Edinburgh Square, Star Ferry, the Queen's Pier, and Victoria Park. And there are some ideal qualities of public space that you can discuss in class with others and see if we actually see these ideals in public space in Hong Kong and all. And if not, what can we do? Okay, I've said told you about this somewhere else as well. So, and also there are more mundane levels of understanding public space, right? As a vibrant marketplace, as a lively sidewalk, as a place that inspires an imaginative approach to the creation of play spaces, public spaces based on the needs of the people like children, allowing children to dare to learn to use their body to assess risk, and they know. Children actually know a lot better what is dangerous than we.